Immediately after the tragic events of 9/11, a young man from Birmingham, Alabama put his college plans on hold to answer America's call. He was one of the first to be deployed to Iraq, and during his second deployment in 2005, Sergeant Noah Galloway was severely injured by a roadside bomb which resulted in the loss of his left arm and leg. After going through years of a tough physical and mental healing process, he has emerged as an inspiration to his fellow veterans and non-veterans alike. He founded the No Excuses Charitable Fund, which raises money and awareness for organizations that mean the most to him. He is a motivational speaker and was chosen from over 1,300 readers to become the Men's Health Ultimate Guide. Earlier this year, he finished in third place on the hit show Dancing with the Stars. He is a true patriot, a dedicated family man, a Legionnaire from the Department of Alabama. Please welcome Noah Galloway.
Thank you. War is a difficult and challenging thing to endure. And for me, being injured on my second deployment and waking up in a hospital and knowing that my military career was abruptly ended, and then on top of that, 2 of my limbs were gone, I fell into a deep, dark depression. A few years after my injury, I was at a veterans event in Birmingham, Alabama. And I was sitting next to a Vietnam War era veteran who is a helicopter pilot. And we were talking, sharing stories, and he told me how he would fly into the battlefield and pick up casualties of war and all that he went through. We talked throughout the night, and before the night was over, he told me something I'd never forget. He said, "Noah, when I came home from Vietnam, I could have been like so many of my buddies and given up. I could have quit. But I decided I didn't want to be another statistic." He said he went back to college, furthered his degree, started pushing himself harder than ever before. He became a success. He said he didn't want war to define him. Well, I remember when he told me this, I smiled and I nodded. But when I left and I got in my car, I thought, well, things were different for him. I don't have the same luxuries that he has, or, he doesn't know what I went through. I was wrong. I was wrong to think that positive momentum was a luxury that I didn't deserve. In fact, one night I was sitting at home and watching my 3 young children play. And as I watched them, I realized I didn't want them to start making excuses when things got tough on them as they grew up. And it was up to me to teach them that. So I started changing everything. Changed the way I was eating, started eating healthier, started working out, started pushing myself. And from there, I started getting into different races, 5K races, then 10-mile races, 13-mile obstacle course races. Started running marathons, climbed some mountains. Anything that people thought a person missing 2 limbs shouldn't do, I would go after. And that's what really helped me in making the cover of Men's Health magazine. Men's Health is the world's largest men's magazine. And I became the first veteran and amputee to ever grace the cover of Men's Health. that just kept the momentum going. I started being invited to all these national talk shows to share my story. Then, of course, there was the conference call with Dancing with the Stars. I've had people say to me, how did you convince Dancing with the Stars to let you come on their show? I'm always like, I didn't contact them. They reached out to me. It's not the kind of show I've ever watched. They knew that. They knew I wasn't exactly their demographic. But we talked. We had a conversation. And I remember they said to me, they said, Noah, what kind of dancing experience do you have? I said, I don't have any. They said, well, if you went to a bar and a club, what did you ever do? I said, well, I stood at the bar and I ran my mouth. That's what I do. Well, I agreed to go on. I honestly didn't think I'd last more than 2 weeks. But of course, I ended up doing the entire 10 weeks, the entire season of Dancing with the Stars, and came in 3rd place. I'm very proud of that. Oh, thank you. I wasn't there to win 1st place. I never cared to win it. What I'm proud of is I did every dance on that show. I learned a lot about myself being on there and the experience of dance. I never thought I'd ever say that before. But it was incredible. And it literally has changed my life being on that show, because it broadened my platform to share my story and my passion for those that have worn the uniform. And now I'm being asked to always go on different talk shows, to be at different events, and share parts of my life. What I'm really proud of is I get to go and speak to a lot of our youth. I go to a lot of schools and talk and share my experiences. And they know who I am because I was on television. And it's been amazing. I feel like it's really important for stories of positive things that have come after the military to be put out there. Because it is my belief that the more positive that our veterans see, the more it will help. There's a veteran out there that is struggling. But hearing stories of not just mine, but so many others that made it through, pulled themselves out of that darkness, found help, and moved forward, it will encourage them. Because that's exactly what happened to me sitting with that Chief Warrant Officer back in Birmingham, Alabama. Because of the newfound attention, I've been able to do a lot of things that I'm very proud of. One of them is founding my No Excuses Charitable Fund. I'm able to give back to organizations that I feel are doing good things for veterans. But I'm not just involved with veterans groups. I also have different youth programs, because I feel like it starts with our children. What we teach them, what we show them, will define who they will be as leaders in the future. And that's one of the reasons the American Legion is so important to me. Because of the missions we take on to mentor and teach the children of America about the rights and responsibilities of citizenship through our many youth programs. We want to introduce you to a group of young people who epitomize the future of this great country. You're American Legion Youth Champions.